General Hospital spoilers. Vaughn died while Jocelyn was pregnant, and they were half-brothers. The soap world thrives on shockwaves, secrets, and the kind of devastating twists that leave fans gasping, and General Hospital has once again delivered a bombshell storyline no one saw coming. Just when viewers thought Port Charles couldn't possibly hold another secret, a shocking twist unfolds. Vaughn's tragic death collides with Jocelyn Jack's unexpected pregnancy, and the truth of Vaughn's identity detonates like a grenade, revealing he was Jocelyn's half-brother all along. What does this mean for Josslyn? For Carly? For Sonny? And for the very future of the Corinthos and Jack's families? Let's dive into this 4,000-word exploration of the heartbreak, the chaos, and the breathtaking fallout of this shocking storyline. Vaughn was initially introduced to General Hospital as a side character, charismatic with a shady past, but carrying the aura of a man searching for belonging. Fans quickly noticed the writers were layering his backstory with intrigue. Vaughn wasn't just another mob associate or mysterious drifter passing through Port Charles. He had connections, deep ones, to the people fans love most. He first crossed paths with Dex while working for a rival organization that had been trying to undercut Sonny's empire. But Vaughn wasn't your average foot soldier. His smarts, his instincts, and his emotional depth made him stand out, particularly to Jocelyn. Their chemistry sparked instantly, sending fans into a frenzy on social media. Was Vaughn being set up as Joss's next great love? But lurking beneath Vaughn's smoldering looks and dark charm was a secret Carly and Jocelyn could never have predicted. As Jocelyn struggled with her feelings for Dex and her own future, she found herself unexpectedly falling into Vaughn's orbit. In a whirlwind moment of passion, one she didn't plan and never intended, Jocelyn and Vaughn crossed a line. Weeks later, Jocelyn realized she was late. At first, she chalked it up to stress. Between her studies, her tension with Dex, and her struggles to carve her own path in the shadow of Sonny's mob world, she had plenty to worry about. But a pregnancy test changed everything. Jocelyn was pregnant. The storyline instantly placed Joss at the center of a major emotional dilemma. Should she tell Dex? Should she tell Carly? Should she even keep the baby? Vaughn had been a fleeting mistake, or so she thought. Yet life had other plans. Just as Jocelyn began grappling with the life-altering news of her pregnancy, tragedy struck. Vaughn, who had been working both sides of the mob war, sometimes helping Dex, sometimes challenging Sonny, was killed in a bloody shootout. The shocking scene played out in a warehouse on the waterfront, with Sonny's men ambushed by Vaughn's supposed allies. Vaughn, caught in the crossfire, made a fatal mistake by trying to protect Jocelyn, who had come looking for answers. Bullets flew, chaos erupted, and Vaughn was shot in the chest. As Jocelyn screamed for help, Vaughn collapsed in her arms. His last words were a cryptic whisper. "Tell Carly she knows." Then silence. Vaughn was gone. The loss devastated Jocelyn. Not only was she now pregnant with his child, but she had watched him die in her arms. Viewers were left shattered, wondering what his final words meant. When Jocelyn tearfully confessed everything to Carly about Vaughn, about the pregnancy, and about his dying words, Carly's face went pale. Because Carly did know something. Vaughn's real identity. Years earlier, during Carly's tumultuous relationship history, there had been whispers of a son she might have had and lost track of during one of her darkest periods. She had buried the secret, never telling Jocelyn, never telling Sonny, never telling anyone. Vaughn, as it turned out, wasn't just some stranger who had swept into Port Charles. He was Carly's son, which meant Vaughn and Jocelyn were half-siblings. The truth came out in the most dramatic fashion possible, at Vaughn's funeral. As mourners gathered, including Jocelyn, Carly, Sonny, Dex, and even Mina lurking in the shadows, a mystery guest appeared, Vaughn's biological father. A man Carly had once known all too well. With devastating clarity, the truth unraveled. Vaughn was the child Carly had given up years ago, raised away from Port Charles, only to return as a man unknowingly destined to collide with his sister's life. Gasps filled the church as Jocelyn put the pieces together. Vaughn wasn't just the man she had loved and lost. He was her brother. And now, she was carrying his child. The fallout was catastrophic. Josslyn fell into a spiral of guilt, rage, and heartbreak. She had no idea Vaughn was her brother. How could she? Yet the weight of the truth crushed her. The pregnancy she had just started to accept now felt like an unbearable burden. Scenes of Jocelyn sobbing in Carly's arms, screaming at Dex to leave her alone, and lashing out at Sonny for his secrets became the emotional core of the storyline. Viewers saw a young woman torn apart, questioning everything she thought she knew about her family and herself. Was she cursed? Was Carly to blame for not telling the truth sooner? And could she ever forgive herself for falling for Vaughn? Fans immediately turned their attention to Carly. Once again, Port Charles's Queen of Secrets had detonated a time bomb that destroyed her daughter's life. Carly's guilt consumed her. She had buried the memory of Vaughn's existence, convincing herself that giving him up had been the best decision. She never imagined that silence would lead to her daughter falling in love with her own half-brother. Now, Josslyn blamed Carly for everything. The rift between mother and daughter widened, threatening to become permanent. While the emotional devastation tore the Corinthos Jacks family apart, the mob storyline continued to ripple. Vaughn's death left unanswered questions. Who ordered the hit? Was Vaughn truly betraying Sonny, or was he protecting Josslyn in the end? Dex, already reeling from Jocelyn's pregnancy revelation, vowed revenge. Sonny, caught between protecting his daughter and handling the mob war, found himself targeted by Vaughn's mysterious father, who wanted revenge for his son's death. The battle lines were redrawn, and Jocelyn's tragedy became another pawn in the endless war of power in Port Charles. The most heartbreaking part of the storyline centers on Jocelyn's pregnancy. Fans debated endlessly. Should Josslyn keep the baby, knowing it was the product of a relationship with her half-brother? Or should she make the painful decision to terminate the pregnancy and move on? GH writers leaned into the agony, showing Josslyn confiding in Trina, breaking down with Carly, and even facing Nina, who shockingly offered support. The pregnancy became more than just a personal dilemma. It symbolized the consequences of secrets, lies, and the tragic cycles that define General Hospital. The Vaughn Jocelyn bombshell instantly became one of the most controversial storylines in years. Fans flooded social media. Some praised the writers for pushing boundaries and delivering a storyline that no one saw coming. Others were horrified, calling it too dark, too twisted, even for a soap opera. Many sympathized with Eden McCoy's performance as Josslyn, predicting Emmy buzz for the young star. Whether fans loved it or hated it, one thing was clear. Everyone was talking about it. Looking forward, the storyline sets up countless possibilities. Josslyn's choice. Will she keep the baby, or will she choose another path? Carly's redemption. Can Carly ever repair her relationship with Josslyn after keeping Vaughn's existence a secret? Mob chaos. Vaughn's father isn't done with Sonny, and his quest for vengeance could bring new bloodshed. Dex's role. Can Dex stand by Josslyn through this heartbreak, or will the tragedy push them apart forever? One thing is certain, Port Charles will never be the same. In a city built on secrets, betrayals, and shocking revelations, the Vaughn Jocelyn storyline may go down as one of the most unforgettable in General Hospital history. Vaughn's tragic death, Jocelyn's devastating pregnancy, and the revelation that they were half-siblings intertwine into a story of heartbreak, guilt, and survival. It's dark, it's controversial, and it's pure General Hospital.